Chapter 6 of Virata Parva, Radheya's Dream. When Lomasa came to the earth to meet Yudhishthira, he had brought a message from Indira, and the message was meant for Yudhishthira alone. Indra said, I know there is always a dread present in your mind. It is about Radheya. You are afraid that he may kill Arjuna. Radheya is a student of Bhargava, and he is a better archer than Arjuna. I will take care of that after the return of Arjuna to the earth. Yudhishthira had not told anyone about this. Indra now remembered his promise to Yudhishthira. He made up his mind that he would do something that would deprive Radheya of his power. It was during the 13th year of the exile of the Pandavas. On a certain night, Radheya was sleeping on his bed, which was whiter than snow. It was now midnight. The sun, full of love for his unfortunate son, visited him in his dream. He came in the guise of a Brahmin. He spoke in a gentle, compassionate voice to his son. He said, Listen to me, Radheya. I will tell you something which will be for your good. You are a good, truthful man. You have taken an oath. Whoever comes to you during the middle of the day when you are worshipping the sun will have all his wishes fulfilled. He will never be allowed to go back empty-handed. Anything he may ask will be given to him. You never say no to any request. Taking advantage of this, your oath, Indra, the well-wisher of the Pandavas, has decided to approach you with a request tomorrow. He will come in the guise of a Brahmin. He will ask you for your kavacha and your kundalas. Do not give them to him. Your kundalas were given to you by someone who had got it from Aditya. These are given to you as a special protection. I cannot tell you who gave them to you because I am not allowed to speak about it. When Indira asks you to give him these, try to offer other things instead. Offer him your entire kingdom. Tell him that you will give anything except these two things. If the kundalas are severed from your ears, your life will be shortened. You will die soon. The kavacha is an armor against fate itself. With the kavacha, you are invulnerable. No one can defeat you as long as you are wearing these two. But once they are severed from your body, you will be defeated and killed. They have been dipped in the nectar of immortality, the divine Amrita, the food of the gods. If you hold your life dear, you must protect these two things. Radheya was touched by the concern in the voice of the Brahmin. He said, You are very fond of me. You can be no ordinary Brahmin who can tell what will happen tomorrow. Please tell me who you are. You seem to be so concerned about my welfare. In this wide, wide world, no one has shown me so much affection except my dear mother Radha. For her, I live in this world full of pain. Again, Duryodhana loves me. It is because I want to please him that I have been living on. For my part, life does not hold any attraction. I am immune to the joys and sorrows that have happened to me so far. But this, your love for me, makes me curious to know who the third person is who is concerned about me. The sun said, I am Surya, with 1,000 rays of light. I have immense affection for you. I do not want you to be duped by your enemies. That is why I came to you while the world is sleeping. Do as I say. I am talking like this so that you may live long. Radheya fell at his feet and said, My lord, I have chosen you as my god. I do not worship any other god. You are my Ishtadaiva. I am fortunate to have seen you in person. You have come to warn me about Indra. You are my well-wisher. You want me to refuse to give up these two charms, the Kavacha and Kundalas. They mean my very life to me, you say. Now I will tell you something. You are the daily witness to the vow I have taken. Every day when you reach the zenith, I worship you, and when my worship is over, I wait for someone to ask for alms. I grant them all that they ask for. My Lord, you have been watching this ritual for years. I took up this oath when the name Sutaputra was a stigma which clung to my name. I said that I would win knowledge and fame and punya by constant endeavor. I learned archery from the greatest of archers. That became fruitless because of the fact that I am a Sutaputra. But this vow which I have taken, which has brought me so much punya, this vow has given me peace which I had not tasted for long. I am happy when I give away something. I am happy when I give away something. The dearer a thing is, the greater the happiness when I give it away. The dearer a thing is, the greater the happiness when I give it away. I am prepared to give up even my life if I am asked to. So tomorrow, if Indra comes to me asking me for alms, the alms which is going to be of advantage to the Pandavas, the alms which may cost me my life, do you think I will refuse him that? I have never loved this life of mine. I do not mind giving it away. A good name, my Lord, is the only thing that I have wanted. I do not want to barter it for a long life. If I refuse to give Indra what he wants, my fame will die immediately. The name I have earned as Radheya, the giver, will die in a moment. I will live long, and my ignominy will live longer. I will live long, and my ignominy will live longer. Death with fame is much more to be desired than a long life with ignominy. If the killer of Vritra, the lord of all the gods in the heavens, if he comes to me as a beggar, I will consider it a privilege to grant him what he wants. He may be fond of the Pandavas, he may be partial to them. In his partiality, he may be tempted to take advantage of my oath and deprive me of my strength. I do not care what prompts him to do so. I know only this: I have been the chosen target of fate. Several things have happened to me. All of them have only one thing in view: the defeat of Radheya and the success of Arjuna. I know all the conspiracies of fate. I know that I am not meant to win, but I will not move away from the path of duty that I have set down for myself. If Indra asks me for a boon, then it will be glory for me to grant a boon to the greatest of all givers, the giver who makes the world live by his bounty. Fame is the woman I have chosen for my bride. Fame is the woman I have chosen for my bride. I love fame more than I love my life. A man who has earned fame lives in the heavens. Infamy means annihilation. Fame puts new life into man. It makes a man feel young. It protects and guards a man like a loving mother. If I refuse to give Indra what he wants, I will live long, no doubt, but the infamy will rob me of my afterlife. Fame envelops the life of man, and it is the only thing permanent in this world where everything else is transient. It makes life on this earth pure, and it is longer than life itself. I will lose this body of mine and attain lasting life. Do you think I will forego this chance? I will fight in the war to the best of my ability. I will kill my enemies to please my dearest friend. I will obtain fame. I will die fighting and reach the heavens meant for those who die on the battlefield. I will protect my good name even at the cost of my life. I promise you, I will give Indra what he wants." The son said, "I love you so much, Radeya. That is why I ask you once again not to do this foolish thing. You are giving away the happiness of your wife and your children. You are giving away the happiness of your friend who is depending on you to win this war for him. You will get fame, no doubt, but what is the use of the fame which you cannot enjoy? You will be dead. The fame which you court with your life will lead you to the abode of death. When your body is burned to ashes, when you are just a name in this world, what is the use of the fame which you have earned? You will not be here to listen to the praises that will be showered on you. You have loved me always. I have loved you too. In the name of our love, I ask you this one favor. Do not give away your dear life to the Pandavas. I wish I could tell you why I am so upset at the thought of your imminent death, but I cannot. I must not tell. I can only ask you not to give away the Kavacha and the Kundalas which were placed on you by a God who loves you like his very life. Radeya, it has been the one desire in your life to kill Arjuna. You can do only if you have these two things. If you lose them, you become vulnerable. If you do not part with the Kavacha and the Kundalas, no one, not even Indra or Rudra or Vishnu, can cause you any harm. If you want to realize your ambition to kill Arjuna, if you want to please your dear friend Duryodhana, you must not grant the boon to Indra tomorrow." Radeya was overpowered by the love the son had for him. He said, "My lord, you are the only God I have worshipped. I have no one whom I can call mine. I have no father. I do not know who he is. As for my mother, I do not know her either. She abandoned me as soon as I was born. I have no one who loves me. You, my lord, are the only person who is dear to me. In your affection for me, you have come to warn me. You said to yourself, 'Radeya, my Bhakta is in danger of losing his life. I must protect him.' My lord, I do not know how to repay your kindness. You know I would do anything to please you, and yet I am unable to obey you. I beg of you to forgive me. I have never known what fear is. I have never been afraid of death. But there is one thing that I fear most. It is untruth. But there is one thing that I fear most. It is untruth. I cannot be false to myself. I have to adhere to the vow I have taken, not to refuse anyone anything. I am not worried if I am asked to give up my life. I have got to grant the boon which Indra will ask me tomorrow. Please bless me with your loving hands. Please grant me lasting fame." The son said, "Nothing can move you from the path of righteousness. You are even greater than Yudhishthira, who is the one other person who will die rather than give up dharma. I am proud of you. When you give away your Kavacha and your Kundala, if Indra wants you to ask a boon of him, ask him to give his Shakti. That will to a certain extent make up for the loss of your armor." The son disappeared from the dream of Radeya. He got up from his sleep and spent the rest of the night reliving his dream. He could sleep no more. He was waiting for the day to dawn. Shri Krishna Arpanamastu. Chapter 7 of Virata Parva. The begging bowl of Indra. The sun rose up in the east, slowly, as though he were unwilling to usher in the day, which meant the death of his son. Radeya was impatiently waiting for the sun to reach the zenith. His body was burning with a strange fever. His eyes glowed like live coals. It was midday. Radeya had finished his worship of the sun. He was waiting for the coming of Indra. The Brahmin came. Excitement made the heart of Radeya beat fast. The Brahmin stood in front of him with his hands outstretched. "Please give," said the man. Radeya at once fell at his feet as was his custom. He honored the Brahmin and made him take a seat. Radeya stood before the Brahmin with folded hands and said, "I will give you anything you ask for. Please ask." The Brahmin said, "I do not want riches or cows or gold as others Brahmins do. I want your kavacha and your kundalas." Radeya smiled to himself. He said, "Your request is strange. These two, my lord, cannot be removed from my body. I will give you other armors and earrings which are more costly than these. I will give you even my kingdom, but these are not to be removed." The Brahmin said, "I have heard that you are the greatest of all givers. I do not want anything else. I want only these two things. If you are really as truthful and righteous as you are reputed to be, make that tradition rule. Cut them away from your body and give them to me. This will be the greatest gift that you have ever given or that you will ever give hereafter." Radeya smiled all the more to himself and said, "My lord, you are evidently attracted by the glow from these things. They are not ordinary ornaments. They have been dipped in the nectar, which is the food of the gods. They have been placed on me to grant me long life and to protect me from death. I have sworn to my friend Duryodhana that I will kill Arjuna in the war that is to be fought. For that, I must have this kavacha and these kundalas. That is the only reason why I am asking you to let me keep them." The Brahmin was adamant. He wanted these two things and would not take anything else. Radeya laughed and said, "My lord, I know who you are. You are Indra. You are the greatest of all givers. The earth owes her life and her riches to your bounty. In fact, the proverb is, like Parjanya in giving. I feel so very embarrassed when you ask a boon for me. It is your privilege to grant boons to us mortals. You are the Lord of the gods. You know more than I do that by giving you these things which are protecting me from evil, I am giving away my very life. But that does not affect me. I am pleased and honored that the great Indra is accepting a gift from me. I am proud to give you my life." Radeya cut away the armor from his body. He severed the earrings from his ears. The kavacha and kundalas were placed at the feet of the Brahmin. The face of Radeya had taken on an unusual glow. He was extremely happy to do this sacrifice for the sake of his principle. They say that the value of a sentiment is the amount of sacrifice you are prepared to make for it. They say that the value of a sentiment is the amount of sacrifice you are prepared to make for it. Radeya was happy since he had sacrificed his very life for the sake of his dharma. His happiness was so great that tears flowed from his eyes. Indira's eyes too were wet. Flowers from the skies rained on Radeya. Indra said, "I have never seen a person like you. You are the noblest person I have ever met. You have been told about my coming by Surya. You knew what would happen if you gave up these things to me, and yet You have given up your very life for the sake of the noble sentiments you have had all your life. Ask me anything you want. Except my personal weapon Vajra, I will give you anything. Radeya smiled and said, My lord, to receive anything in return for a gift is not proper. It does not become a true giver. The gesture of giving loses its grace. But in this case, I have decided to ask a boon of you. I will give you the reason for it. In your affection for Arjuna and because of your partiality for the Pandavas, you have done an act which will not be approved of by anyone. You have asked me to sacrifice my life. You, the greatest giver on this earth and the heavens. You appeal to the principle I have always followed, that I will not say no to anyone who asks a boon of me. To save you from the censure of the world, I will ask a boon of you. To save you from the censure of the world, I will ask a boon of you. My lord, I have too much respect for you to let the world talk ill of you because of this incident. So, I will ask you to give me your Shakti, the weapon with which you destroyed your enemies. It will, to a certain extent, compensate for the loss of the Kavacha and the Kundalas. The world will then say, Indra took these two from Radeya, but in return he gave his powerful Shakti. Thus, you will escape censure from righteous-minded people. Please give me your Shakti. Indra was amazed at the greatness of this mortal man. In a moment, he had ascended to a height from where he could look down upon him, the king of the heavens. Indra said, You have today conquered the king of the heavens. I will grant you your boon. I will also grant that there is no scar on you because of the wounds you have caused to your body by cutting away these things. You will be more glorious than you were till now. As for this Shakti, I will certainly give it to you. You can use it only against one enemy. You can use it only once. It will certainly kill the person against whom it is aimed, but it cannot be repeated. It will return to me. Radeya said, I need it just once against just one person. I have just one enemy. Indra said, I know you mean Arjuna, but so long as he is protected by Krishna, no one can harm Arjuna, not even my Shakti. Krishna, the incarnation of the Lord, has taken it upon himself to protect the Pandavas. Radeya, your power will wane before his. Radeya paid no heed to his words. He was very happy to own the Shakti. He said, I still have hopes of winning the war. I have hopes of killing Arjuna. My hopes may be dupes, but I am not worried about that. I have your Shakti. I can do my best. In spite of the loss of my Kavacha, I may be able to help my friend who has centered all his hopes on me. I am happy. Indra said, Whether you win the war or lose, it is a minor matter. You have won everlasting fame. You will be remembered by posterity as the greatest giver. From today, you will be called Karna because you have given your Kundalas. From today, you will be called Karna because you gave away your Kundalas. You will be called Vaikarthana because you cut away your Kavacha without flinching. You will be known in the world of men as the man who could defy fate and carve a name for himself in the scrolls of time. It is not given to everyone to be a personage like you. You will be remembered forever and forever. You said that the proverb is like Parjanya in giving. Radeya, it was. From today, the proverb will be like Karna in giving. As long as the world lives, your name will be remembered. But now I must go. Radheya fell at his feet and said, "My lord, I have one more request today. I have found a friend in you. You seem to like me. If you do really like me, will you do me a favor? For the last so many years, I have been suffering so much because of my birth. It has been shrouded in so much mystery that I have almost lost my reason trying to unravel the mystery. Will you reveal to me the secret of my birth? Can you tell me who I am? Who is my father? Who is my mother? Can you not put an end to my suffering?" Indra looked at him with compassion and said, "I wish I could tell you, but it is a jealously secret guarded. You must not know it, not just yet. Anyway." Radeya accepted his words with a shrug of resignation. He knew that he was powerless against fate. As if to say, "It's no matter." He brushed away the tears from his eyes and saluted Indra. Indra raised his right hand and blessed Radeya with the words, "May your name perfume posterity. Those who hear your name spoken, those who hear the story of your sacrifice, will never more swerve from the path of truth." I repeat, Radeya was blessed with Indra by the following words: "May your name perfume posterity. Those who hear your name spoken, those who hear the story of your sacrifice, will never more swerve from the path of truth." The heavens rained flowers on Radeya and Indra. A cool breeze blew. The earth was wet with a few drops of rain. The earth smiled. Indra disappeared. He had robbed Radeya of his life, and yet he had granted him eternal life. Dhanavira Shura Karna. Iti samaptah. Shri Krishnarpanamastu.